because this normalizes the reality that you're going to fight with your partner. You're going to have moments where you don't like them and they don't like you. You're going to have moments where you don't want to be around each other. And that's not the end of the world. Hello, you sexy and gorgeous creature. Welcome to Practice Intimacy. This is the place to be to learn all about love, sex, and how to have the best relationships you possibly can. My name is Jami Lynn, and what I want to talk to you about today is something that actually kind of blew my mind whenever I first learned it. And it has helped me to really understand what it is that helps couples feel close to each other and how to get through conflict in a way that will not only feel good, but is also going to make it to where your relationship is deeper, more connected, more intimate, and more trusting. So let's dive in. There's a researcher, his name is Tronick. He has been doing the still face experiments for something like 30 years. So this is decades and decades of research. And if you've never heard of that experiment, what they do is they have a mom and a child and they're interacting, and then mom gets a completely blank face. Totally still, no expression, not smiling, just looking at baby. And the baby does all these things to try and get mom to go back to normal, interact with me. Because relationship is how human beings grow. It's what we're born into. It's how we feel safe and comfortable in the world. Even if you have a scary parent, you're still going to seek relationship because that is our species biome. It's what we need in order to survive. We need each other, which can create some really confusing internal experiences when you need relationship, but relationship is scary. That's a topic for another day. That is for my people who have experienced some kind of emotional trauma in their history, some kind of relational trauma in their history. And we'll talk about that, but not today. Today, what we're talking about is how Tronick, this researcher, discovered that moments of rupture, moments where it does not feel good in relationship, are actually necessary in order to have a healthy relationship. So here's what he discovers. Mom goes blank, baby starts to be dysregulated, and once there's a sign from the researcher to go ahead and go back to comforting baby, then mom starts interacting and they come back into relationship. That rupture is repaired and baby is soothed and everything goes back to normal. They ran these tests with children of all ages, and then they started moving into relationships, partnerships, where two adult people in partnership would come and do this test. And with their partner, they would get a blank face. And they would measure how dysregulating it was for each person in the relationship, and they would measure how long it took to come back out of the rupture. And throughout all these decades of studying, what happens whenever you have an experience that is uncomfortable, where you're missing each other emotionally and it does not feel good, there's some kind of conflict, some kind of rupture happening, how that affects relationship and what is needed to come out of it. And also what happens when you do come out of it. What they have discovered is that there are benefits to having these moments of ruptures. They are a necessary part of being in relationship to be able to tolerate those experiences, because people will not always be able to meet you with the sort of love, care, and attention that they can at times and that you crave. So imagine that you have a perfect partner and every single day they're showing up for you. And then suddenly one day work is really busy and they're stressed out and they're not showing up for you. Depending on how good you are at tolerating that moment of grief and disconnection, you will come out the other side with a stronger relationship. Because that is normal and natural in life. Your partner's gonna be distracted. They might show up for you great on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, and then suddenly on Friday, they're stressed out, or they're in a bad mood, or you said something they didn't like, and suddenly you're no longer connected. How good you are at riding through those moments of disconnection so that you can come back together is the greatest sign of health and intimacy. Whereas what they found in the research is in parenting and couples, if you have an expectation of harmony, if you get along all the time and things are smooth most of the time and there isn't a lot of conflict, then those moments when you have ruptures, it's going to be so dysregulating because there isn't the built-in experience of trust that we know how to come back together. It feels way more detrimental to your nervous system because there's an uncertainty. Are we going to be able to bridge this gap? This has never happened before, maybe. Are we going to be able to get through this? So it is actually way healthier for your relationship to be able to tolerate rupture, to know that it's a part of life that you're going to have these moments of disruption in your partnership and that you can come back together. And so relationship actually looks more like this, where you're weaving in and out of connection. You have connection, you have disconnection. You have connection, you have disconnection. And when you get really good at trusting that ruptures lead to reconnection, it builds resilience in your nervous system. It builds a feeling of intimacy. It builds trust. And so it's actually one of the best things you can do for your relationship is to build an ability to tolerate conflict, to tolerate rupture. Because on the other side of that, if you don't get too dysregulated, if you keep coming back together, on the other side of that is a happier, deeper relationship. Which is shocking, but so exciting to know, because this normalizes the reality that you're going to fight with your partner. You're going to have moments where you don't like them and they don't like you. You're going to have moments where you don't want to be around each other. And that's not the end of the world. It's actually normal and healthy. And on the other side of this experience is more intimacy. Thank goodness. I hope that this helps you relax in those moments whenever rupture happens. Trust that this is just a moment of growth for you both and that you can get through it and that there is more intimacy on the other side, whether it's with this person or somebody else. When you learn to be okay through moments of rupture and not be okay like pretending it's not bad. No, it's loving yourself through the hard moment, loving your partner through the hard moment. Then it becomes easier to come back together with greater love. Remember to subscribe to this channel if you want more content about love, sex, and relationships. Like this video, send it to your people if you think they might benefit from this information, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.